Whoa! Some people told me that I should make like a reading video. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for today's video. But anyways, so yeah, I love One Piece, so it's going to be very fun. Let's just make some sounds out of this before we read. But yeah. Also, guys, I got this new figure that I want to show you guys, and it's the Dio figure. So yeah, this is fucking sick. Just to tell you guys because I like showing myself. So Dio, are you ready to read? Nice response. Okay, let's set him aside. To chill. And yeah, take a good look. On the cover. Here you go, Ace. They did him dirty. I have no idea who these these people are. So yeah. So let's start reading, shall we? One Piece, Ace story. Formation of the Spade Pirates. This, if you don't know already, this story is all about Ace. Of how he became a pirate and shit, and when he formed his OG crew before he joined the White Beard Pirates. You feel me? So yeah, that's cool. So the prologue. Let's start, shall we? His father was no longer alive. He was executed by the Navy before he could see the birth of his son. All he left behind was a woman who would become a mother and the baby she bore within her. The father's name was considered to secrecy. The mother hid out in her hometown to protect the baby to come. Then at last, unbeknownst to anyone, she brought she brought new life into the world. Patrula in the South Blue. What a trick of fate. It was on the island that she gave birth to a child with the blood of the king of the pirates, which is Roger. Chapter 1. I like the colors. Well, it's not colors, but I like the style. They put in the book. I fell off the straight and narrow path of respectable life, so I decided to go out to the sea island. I thought that out among the infinite blue waves I would find a world where I could truly be alive, the world of adventure I dreamed of as a kid. That would have dreamed that world with the stutters, that world of dreams when all I had was a book and my imagination. And yet here I was in that very world, a desert island under palm trees, blazing sun, white sands, an empty stomach. All of it was real. The only thing marking the passage was time. Above time was the gentle lapping of waves on the shore. I was stuck on the kind of a beautiful island you read about in stories, listening to the raucous cries of seabirds. Ever since I was a boy, I've wanted to chronicle an adventure in a book. I would prefer it to be a book like Bragman, if possible. That's my favorite book. It's a collection of journals from the explorers of the distant past. One particularly famous section tells of Little Garden, the island of giants. Adults made fun of it, claiming that the stories were all lies. But as a child, I always wondered, how can they be so sure? I wanted to see this for myself, rather than believing someone else's uninformed opinion on the matter. And I wasn't going to decide that was the truth until I had the chance to see it. That was the kind of person I wanted to be. That part of me has never changed, even when that attitude landed on me on an inhabited island that was said to be inescapable. Why is that so hard to pronounce? Whatever. East Blue. escape. Across the emerald green shallows, I could see a unique kind of sea current. It pulled anyone on his periphery toward the island, like antlion of the waves. It ensured that anyone who reached the island was forced to enjoy the final vacation of their life. I exhaled deeply and sat down in the shade of a palm tree so I could gaze out desolately at the water. 3 days had already passed since I got here. It was the worst vacation I would ever had. The sea breeze caressed my cheeks, but the ingredient of the burn in my nose was the unpleasant reality that accompanied it. That and the sight of a previous visitor to the island, a skeleton resting nearby. Judging from its clothes, the skeleton had once been a pirate. A rusty pistol was clutched in its bony hand, and fancy ring glittered on its fingers. It was all very dispiriting to look upon. No weapons or jewels were going with you to the afterlife. The only thing you left behind in the world was bones. We've had a rough time of it, haven't we? I muttered. I felt like I had to, or else I would forget how to use my own voice. If I was going to wind up like him in the near future, I could at least offer up a bit of consolation. I must be an idiot. I leaned back against the tree and closed my eyes. My throat was parched, so I moistened it with the thinness of saliva. Without realizing it, I would come under the assumption that I wasn't going to survive. That was a bad sign. Okay, come on, let's at least dig a grave. I'll give you a hand. A grave? Yeah, good idea. Let's do that. It wasn't fair to the skeleton to leave it to the elements. Best to dig a grave, give him a proper resting place. Whoever's idea that was, it was a good one. I swallowed again. The throat of mine was dreadfully dry. I needed to look for water. I hadn't had a decent drink in 2 whole days. If only there was coconuts on this palm tree. Were there monkeys in this jungle behind me? Or was it just the wrong season? Sadly, there was not a single fruit to be seen. The calls of the seabirds were as ferocious as ever. I opened my ears on the lapping repetition of the waves. So much water in the sea and not a drop to drink. Who said that? My eyes popped open and I bolted upright. I was alone on this perfectly empty island, but I could have sworn that I would just traded words with someone else. And then I heard the scratch of sand under the shoes. Shining black boots. As a matter of fact, there was a man standing before me, the way he was silhouetted against the glittering reflection of the sea. It was almost as though he were glowing with holy light. Oh, hello. It's nice to make your acquaintance, the man said politely, with a proper bow. This seemed only cordial, considering that we were nowhere near any kind of society. My name is Ace. I was just enjoying a little stroll along the beach. How do you do? The man had a pleasant, friendly smile. His orange hat was nearly blinding in the dappled light beneath the tree. I had to squint as I looked up to him, so he squatted down to my level. A crimson ornament swayed gently around his neck. Once we were at a eye level, I could see that he was a young man with freckles. He was probably around my age. In fact, something about his lean physique seemed to conjure the sense of chronicles of adventure and the sound of waves. This was how I first met Podcast the Ace. I was unable to speak from the shock. All I could do was stare with bulging eyes. Having landed on an uninhabited island, the last thing I expected to find was an inhabitant. The instant he came to my view, my brain was already grasping at the word rescue. The man, the savior, who called himself Ace, continued, "Sorry to trouble you like this, but my trip busted. Help a guy out. You're in the same predicament as I am." Inside my head, I simply screamed, "Ah!" In the whole wide world, I know all of it, its vast seas. How could someone else coincidentally shipwreck on the shore of this ill-fated the same time I did. What were the odds? I was witness to a miracle, and was the crappiest, most useless miracle ever. Listlessly, I muttered, my ship was wrecked in the last storm too. It went down as a donation to Davy Jones. Along with the most of the cargo. What can I say? Storms put me in a charitable mood. My lips were so cracked and dry that they bled as I spoke. Ooh, that sounds painful. It had been too long since I talked to another person. Davy Jones, by the way, was an old pirate. Legend says that he was cursed by the devil and lives on the seafloor, even to this day. So everything that sinks beneath the waves becomes his treasure. Nobody actually believes he's alive, though. That's the thing with legends, in fact. If he were alive, I would take back my contribution. Hey, pal. That was actually an accident. Would you mind giving me back my stuff? I see. I guess we both had a rough time of it. Ace grinned. The guy sure seemed happy-go-lucky for being shipwrecked. I realized that his attitude was actually grating on me. Partly it was disbelief that he could smile in a situation like this. The other part was that I didn't like that he was saying the exact same thing to me that I had been saying to a skeleton moments ago. But I couldn't hold it against him. In an instant, I readjusted my mood. The guy probably had no idea yet of how terrible this island might be. He was an amateur shipwreck key. What the heck is an amateur shipwreck key? Hunger and thirst were making my thoughts fuzzy. Indeed. I've been here for 3 days now, I murmured softly, but firmly. That's right, I've lasted for 3 whole days. Could you do that? It felt like I was both boosting and challenging him to do the same. It's the 6th day for me. I win. What? No. I yelped. He was worse off than me. Anyway, that's not important. I'm building a raft, but it's not going well. Would you help me build a ship to get us out of the island? Ace asked cheerfully. He explained that he would build 2 or 3 impromptu rafts for escape attempts, but nothing worked. He was getting desperate when he happened to cross me on the beach. Work together to build a ship. It was, in a way, was an intriguing suggestion, but ultimately it would mean trusting and trying my fate to a complete stranger I just met moments ago. Of course, the more manpower, the better, but the odds were entirely against us. This was a small desert island. There was a limit to its sea resources. It would be hard enough for me to survive on my own, let alone sustaining 2 grown men, water for 2 men, food for 2 men, a ship big enough to support 2 men, and we had to scrounge up all of this out of nothing. It was ridiculous. What if we only found enough food for a single person? Would I have to split provisions with a total stranger? In fact, splitting up would be the ideal circumstances. What if one of us tried to hoard it all? What if he made the bold and friendly suggestion to cooperate, only to betray me when it counted the most? People turn each other even in the best times. And this was a life or death situation. No one else was watching us. Could I really trust the other man who was here with me? So, no, I wasn't going to help him. I didn't need a companion. From the moment I set out to sea, I was determined to make it on my own. With anyone else's help, at least I wouldn't have to worry about anyone betraying me. But when I realized that when I first saw Ace, and when he spoke to me, a part of me felt hope. It was pathetic. That part of me was weak. I thought he would come to rescue me, even though that couldn't be the case. My excitement rapidly subsided. It felt like I was outside myself, observing my life as though I were a stranger. Despite all my self-determination, once I was alone on a deserted island, I was happy to come across another person. So much for that. It hadn't lasted long, though. There was a certain kind of loneliness I felt around others that I didn't feel when I was alone. Paradoxically, once I was with another person, no matter the circumstances, I found myself feeling the emptiness inside myself. By the way, I didn't catch your name yet. He said it had only been 2 minutes since we first met. But Ace already always had a great dislike for telling people my name, or having them ask me like they were entitled to it. I've got no name to tell the likes of you, I murmured. I wasn't going to tell him my real name, certainly not on our first meeting, when I couldn't trust him. The day that I decided to make it on my own, I abandoned my old name. How come? We're friendly already. We're friendly what? We're friends already, said Ace. When did we become friends? Come on, you can at least tell me your name. Pipe down. You want a name from me? I can give you a pen name, I said, deciding I have to play it tough. If Ace was going to be so pushy, a pen name. Ace is good. Ace is a good name to have. I might even use that when it comes to times for me to write a chronicle of my adventures. Reading is pretty tiring. I didn't really mean to say that. I felt odd while it came out in the flow of conversation. What was it about this place and the circumstance that caused me to mention my childhood dream just then? Ace's expression clouded at the thought of me using his moniker. Hold on, now. That's my name. And I told you, it's a pen name. I can choose to call myself whatever I want. Don't. I aim to achieve greatness with this name. I don't need you copying me. Greatness, he said. That told me something about the kind of man this Ace was, as well as the reason he would washed up on this island. Did you find any treasure? I asked, ignoring the previous topic. Ace took the bait. Why, you know something? Nah, just rumors. Great treasure always comes to mouth of pirates. That's what I always believed. And what happened? I lost my ship and there's no treasure, no bounties to collect, and I can't leave. This island is the pits, he said. From the way he spoke it sounded as if though he hoped to make a name for himself, by finding some legendary treasure, or taking out the infamous pirates, or the like, to think that he won't be stranded on this island due to nothing more than garden variety operas. There had long been a tale about this island possessing treasure, perhaps because of its natural beauty. It was a famous story among sailors in the area. But none of them dared approach the island. Of course they didn't. The moment they landed, they were doomed to stay, even there if there was treasure to be found. Besides, rumor of treasure was common fodder for sailors. It wasn't like they knew anything about the island. They just pointed at a picturesque island in the distance and made up whatever story they felt like telling. Wherever he picked up the story, Ace clearly took it seriously and made his way here intentionally. Internationally, the hell. So he was the type of person whose ambition was his downfall. The thought of working with him to survive seems even less plausible now. I know, you can be Deuce, Ace blurted out. For your pen name, right? Deuce. It matches with Ace, you know. Huh? What you mean, Deuce? Deuce. As in a two of cards or dice. It also means bad luck. Well, that certainly fit my current situation. I have to admit, it was a clever name. However, just to be sure, I checked with Ace. So we ended off at chapter 1, page 21. My throat is pretty dead at the moment, so yeah, I'm gonna end the video right here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys enjoy reading videos, but yeah, this is for the people that enjoy it. So yeah, I really hope you did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, please make sure that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate that. My throat is killing me. Shit.